Let's imagine the following situations. You want to introduce your customers to new products. Are you allowed to send mass mails? And what do you need to consider? A mailing list disappears from your desk overnight. What does this mean for you and your company? There's a competitor who, in the midst of a tender process, wants to talk to you about prices. Are you allowed to do that? These were just a few of many more questions that are included in the field of compliance. Compliance means for companies to conform to rules of conduct, regulations, and laws. As part of the company, you are also obliged to comply with these rules. You will encounter compliance in your daily work routine in various shapes and forms. This includes the proper way to deal with data with regard to data protection, information security, and the protection of know-how. Likewise, we can ensure a safe and pleasant work atmosphere by complying with rules that focus on work safety, equality legislation, and codes of conduct. But compliance also includes very delicate issues such as price fixing, corruption, conflicts of interest, and money laundering. Many companies have introduced so-called compliance management systems in order to guarantee the compliance with the regulations. In this training, you will learn about the most important topics, concepts, risks, and rules of conduct for your daily work routine. In this sense, you will not only learn about the relevant legislative texts, but also be provided with practical rules on every specific compliance topic, which will protect you, your employer, its bodies, and its customers from damage. By conscientiously internalizing these rules and recommendations, you will be ready for any kind of situation in your daily work. We might think that corruption is something that only happens in other countries far away, but that is simply not true. In fact, corruption takes place everywhere, probably right in front of you or behind your office's door. What happens behind closed doors is often kept a secret. And the general assumption is that corruption is spread worldwide. In the next chapter, you will learn how to recognize signs of corruption in your company and how your behavior can prevent corruption. At first glance, corruption seems to be a great thing. One partner receives a contribution and the other one increases his revenues or wins a contract that he normally wouldn't have won. Hence, a clear win-win situation. Why then must corruption be prevented? In order to understand this, you have to examine the effects of corruption. In the long term, corruption produces more victims than beneficiaries. By bribing or accepting a bribe, you're not only harming the company, the competition, your customers, and also the state, you are also losing your freedom as a market participant. Someone who has been bribed before will not do any more business without the extra contribution. Additionally, all people involved in corruption are susceptible to blackmail. You see now, corruption is a pretty ugly affair that cannot be glossed over, which is why you should not legitimize corruption as a profit increase. The purpose of corruption is never the well-being of the company, but always the satisfaction of your personal interests. Corruption ultimately damages your company and the free competition itself. Corruption distorts the market because the contract is not awarded to the best bidder, but to the one with largest bribe. This leads to the loss of product quality and less innovation. If you become corrupt, you will not only be less competitive, but also will have to face criminal prosecution. Corruption offenses may lead to claims for compensation damages or fines. Severe cases can even lead to the loss of your job and imprisonment. If you accept a bribe or bribe someone else, you're severely damaging your company as well. For example, loss of reputation, exclusion from tender procedures, falling stock prices, and even the exclusion from the stock market. And if that happens, bankruptcy is really not so far away.